Hello, everybody. For the final time this week, welcome on into Betting Weekly Game Bet Match. It's your number one tennis betting podcast and YouTube show brought to you in association with Bet Rivers. I'm your host, Nigel Seeley. Sean Calvert is still in Rotterdam. We're going to find out what he's been up to over the last couple of days in a second. Before I do that, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like, keep us coming with the subscribers. Subscribers have been great since the start of the new year with all the tennis content. And we want more and more of you to join in so we can keep doing these shows. We love doing these shows. We do them for you, and hopefully you enjoy as well. I'll show your appreciation by hitting that subscribe button and the like button. Good morning, Sean. It is Wednesday morning. You're heading off to the tournament in Rotterdam. How's it been? You were there yesterday? What was it like?
I mean, I'll be honest. It's been a bit of a low key start to Rotterdam compared to what it normally is. It's normally 500 straight in first round matches. A lot of big matches, being played all around the arena, but the problem they've had this year, for whatever reason, a lot of the players are late arriving at the tournament. A lot of them a bit late coming from Davis Cup. Some of them only turned up on Tuesday. We're speaking on Wednesday morning. So they had a real problem arranging the matches, which is why there's been very few matches. There's only, I think, 3 on centre court in the day session yesterday. And one of them was Struff against Grenier. You would never expect that to be a centre court match on a Tuesday in Rotterdam, with all due respect to them two. That's got court 1 or 2 written all over it, that has. So it's been a bit of a problem. That's why there's more matches scheduled for today, which is Wednesday. Obviously, we can't talk about those because they're happening in a minute, but there's loads more matches scheduled for today because the players have finally decided to turn up. So it's been a bit of a low-key start to Rotterdam. It's been it's not been a great start for underdogs this week at all. I've just got the stats here, actually. Across the 3 tournaments that we've had, that we have having this week, there's been 7 underdog winners out of 32, which is 22%. So not a great start for underdog bettors. We did have an underdog winner last night, didn't we? Ugo Carabelli. He was really bet, wasn't he? Did you see the price he started at, Ugo Carabelli?
No, I didn't see it. No,
he went off in decimal. He went off at 1.73, and he was plus 135, I think, when we put him up for that show, and he won in straight sets. So good news for anyone that got on that one, but very few and far between underdogs so far. Let's hope that changes.
Yeah, there is no matches to talk about here in Rotterdam today.
Got the merch, by the way.
You got them? You got it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Look at this fashion. You come here for the tennis, you get the fashion tips as
22 euros.
Wow, reasonable prices.
Very reasonable
prices. It's not a bad little arena that for food and stuff like that. It's a big arena, but it's a lot going on in there, isn't it?
It's good. Yeah, there's lots going on. You can play pickleball. There's like table tennis. Last year there was paddle. There's all sorts going on in there. It's quite a buzzy little place, and it's gone up in my estimation because they finally got merch, which obviously they didn't have last time. But they do a pretty good job. They do the best they can. But
the very difference between Sean and I when we go on these travel shows has gone through pickleball, table tennis. I always get a judge of a place on the quality of the lager.
I haven't. You know what? I've not
had
one
the lager rating there was about 8 out of 10. I can remember. It was pretty good.
What was it, Amstel or something?
I think it was Amstel. I can't remember. I remember it being quite good. I was having a couple of drinks with a subscriber. You bumped in a couple of subscribers just that we saw on Instagram.
Yeah, yesterday I spent a lot of time, several hours actually, with 2 or 3 subscribers yesterday, as it happens. Yeah, a really good long chat with all of them about tennis and stuff for pretty much most of the afternoon. So yeah, it was nice for to meet new people and people that watch the show and have a chat about the show. Yeah.
There you go. Don't let that put you off subscribing to the channel, spending 3 hours.
You don't have to meet me.
Please still hit the subscribe button. It's not that frightening. So just keep doing it. You never know. And if you can see on the Instagram where it is, if you don't want to go, you can go somewhere else the following week.
I'm very approachable.
Let's have a look. We have some matches to talk about. 2 matches in Dallas and 2 matches over in Buenos Aires as well. We haven't spoken about Buenos Aires much this week. So let's start with the conditions over in Dallas. We've touched on it a little bit. A bit of a shock last night. Leona Tien, our pick, going out in round 1 up against Marion Cilic. It was 600th win. Yeah. We didn't know it was playing Cilic at the time, did we?
I think we did.
Qualify. We know.
Yeah, we did.
I thought it was.
Tien had beaten him in Kooyong in a little exhibition before the Australian Open, actually, just a few weeks ago. But it does kind of show you what the conditions are like in Dallas. If someone like Cilic is serving as big as he can, and hitting the ball as well as he can, then in those conditions he's going to be a handful. I mean, he just doesn't always do it these days, Cilic. He's really at the back end of his career, and he's in and out as it happens. Unfortunately for us, we had a day when he was on, and he played really well. The serve did it for him as it did for Taylor Fritz against Giron. Yeah, that that was unlucky. The match that I talked about, Giron against Fritz, it went pretty much exactly the way I said. Unfortunately, the two bets I had, Giron to win the first set and Giron to win the match, he won the second set. Ended up losing it 7-6 in the third, as he has done numerous times against Fritz. But yeah, that match shows you that the two matches, actually, Cilic and Fritz, it shows you that the conditions are on the quick side, and a big first serve can take you quite far in Dallas.
Talking to Taylor Fritz, he's our first match we're going to discuss. It's about 8 p.m. Eastern time, not before 8 p.m. tonight. Taylor Fritz takes on a fellow American, Brandon Nakashima. Fritz is -208 to win this. Nakashima's +160. Spread is 2.5. Total very high, 24.5. As well as you can talk about the conditions and the court speeds here and the big serve, the reason why it's a 24.5 number. So a high number on the games. There's your set betting, here's your set spreads as well. Whole host of different markets available on the Bet Rivers app. The two of these players have met 4 times previously. 2 wins apiece, pretty long matches as well. 2-1 to Nakashima the last time they met in Cincinnati, including a 7-6 final set in his favour. They played at Wimbledon back in 2021. Fritz won that in 4 sets. A couple of tie breaks as well in matches previously at the World Team Tennis and in the Hawaii Open in their first meeting in 2019. Both of them had good wins in round 1. Giron for Fritz, bit of a tight one, but he came through in the end, and Nakashima beating Bellucci. How do you see this one going? I mean, obviously the advantage for Taylor Fritz with his serve is a big one, but they both serve pretty well. They're both big hitters. Could be a long one.
Yeah, I'm just not convinced yet by Taylor Fritz in 2026. You know, the knee is still an issue, tendonitis that he's talked about many times, plus he tweaked it again last night against Giron, and the serve, as I said, it would in that match, or probably would, it bailed him out, really, as it so often has against Marcos Giron. Fritz only won 48% on second serve, compared to 53% for Giron, and again, it was that big first delivery that just made the difference in a final set tiebreak in a very close match. Now he's facing an informed Nakashima. It just doesn't look quite right to me, Fritz, with this knee. If you look at the stats for 2026, Nakashima's been brilliant so far this season. Nakashima, 71% win rate, service points won and return points won, total of 106 so far in 2026. Fritz, just a 56% win rate and a total of 102.5, which is several points down on what you would normally expect to see from Taylor Fritz. It just shows you that he's not quite right. I don't think that knee is allowing him to play as well as he can. Fritz holds in serve 87% of the time this season, but only winning 32.5% of return points. So that number has got to go up for him. But Nakashima holds in serve 93% of the time, more than Fritz, and winning 34.5% of return points. So his game is in very good order. Nakashima, I would suggest that Fritz isn't in great order at the minute, just not quite there. Nakashima won their most recent clash, as you said, which was as you would probably expect. I think it was in Cincy. Quick conditions there, serve-dominated encounter, as you would expect. Both men winning only in between 25 and 27.5% of return points that day. Extremely serve-dominated. But then the rest of the head-to-head, you can kind of overlook it, really, because those matches were played when Nakashima was 79 in the world and 138 in the world. In a very different scenario now. I just feel like if Nakashima stays at the level that we've seen him play so far in 2026, which is peak Nakashima, really, and Fritz stays at the level that he's at, which is below par for him, then the underdog's got a decent chance here. It's going to take half a point on it. Nakashima to win on the money line. I believe he's +160 with Bet Rivers. That's the way I'm going to go here.
Nakashima, +160 is the current price. 8 p.m. start this evening, Eastern time. Head across the Bet Rivers app, and if you do have a bet on this match, you can live stream the All-American clash between Taylor Fritz and Brandon Nakashima. Our second match sees the enigma, that is Denis Shapovalov up against Aleksander Kovacevic. Shapovalov is -270, Kovacevic is +190. Spread here is 3.5, and the total is 23.5. Whole host of markets still available on the Bet Rivers app, and more to be coming as the day progresses. They have met once before. It was in the final of Los Cabos in Mexico last year, where Shapovalov started more or less the same price as he was today, and he won that very easy, 6-4, 6-2. So despite that win, an impressive win, no real difference in the prices. He looked good in his first round match, but he didn't really have much of opposition. And Kovacevic also looked pretty good as well. But not really much respect given to Shapovalov's win in Los Cabos in this one.
Yeah, I think there's a point to be made about that, which I'll make in a bit. But excuse me, in these lively Dallas conditions, this should also be a serve dominated affair. Los Cabos is slow, very very slow, hot, humid outdoors, slow outdoor hard court. Very different conditions to what we're going to get here. Shapovalov is obviously defending champion here in Dallas. Got great stats at this tournament. Service points. Well, he hasn't played that many games. I think it's 7 or 8 matches he's played, but he's done extremely well in the matches that he has played. 107 is his service points won and return points won total at this tournament. 90% holds a serve, and perhaps more impressively, 39% return points won. Although you would have to say he has played some matches that were relatively routine for him, including last night. He was very comfortable indeed against the up-and-coming Jodar. He's a name to watch as the seasons go on, but he didn't play well last night at all. Shapovalov had a relatively comfortable night, and that's boosted his return numbers. This should be a lot more of a test, I feel, for Shapovalov against Kovacevic. Kovacevic got a little bit of luck probably last night, you would probably say, when Riley Opelka pulled out late on and he got the lucky loser Kipson instead of what probably would have been 2 or 3 tie breaks against Opelka. And he took his chance well, Kovacevic. He won very well. In fact, he hit 24 aces and won 94% of his first serve points. So he's serving off the charts in conditions that obviously suit him. Going back to that Los Cabos match, Shapovalov won fairly comfortably in Los Cabos, but you have to say there's a few caveats. It's very slow conditions there. Hot, humid, very physical. And Shapo had a big fitness advantage, really. Shapovalov hadn't gone over 9 games in any set that he played to reach the Los Cabos final. And he played a lot of low-ranked players to get to the final. And he'd actually only played, in total, to reach the final, Shapovalov, 3.5 hours in the whole tournament to get to the final. On the other hand, Kovacevic had played almost 8 hours to get to the final, including 2.5 in the semi-final alone, which was a 3-set affair against Andrei Rublev in sort of hot, humid physical conditions. So Shapovalov certainly had a fitness advantage going into that final, and that's perhaps the reason he won it quite comfortably. But Kovacevic's game, when the conditions are right, it does hold up against the better players in the world. If we look at what he's done against players ranked in between 40 and 60 in the world, which is where Shapovalov is at the minute, he's won 9 and lost 8. So he's got a winning record against players in this sort of ranking. And the conditions, as I said, a lot quicker than Los Cabos. It should be closer than the Los Cabos match for me. It's a couple of leans here, but I think over 10.5 games in set 1 is quite a nice price, actually, with Bet Rivers, plus $2 for over 10.5 games in the opening set. Or you can maybe take a bet builder. I haven't seen the odds on it yet, but Shapovalov to win an over 22.5 or over 23.5. You can combine them. I think Shapovalov will get there in the end, but I'm certainly expecting a tougher test than he had last night.
Great reasons there why the final against Cabos could a little be overlooked in this matchup, but in very different conditions in Texas. Moving from Texas, we go to Buenos Aires to Argentina, where we haven't really spoken a lot about the tournament. Sean has given us a preview of the tournament on our Instagram account. You can follow him on Instagram today. And when are you flying back, tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow, yeah.
Yeah, follow him today and tomorrow on our socials at Because We Win. Let's probably have a look at Buenos Aires. I mean, it's obviously slow, it's clay, but is it what you usually expect, the usual grind over in South America?
Well, the weather forecast was wrong, which is
right.
Not that helpful. We talked on Sunday, or I did, about the first 2 days being hot and the rest of the week prone to sort of thunderstorms and rain after that. That apparently has moved on somewhere else. So that's out. No thunderstorms, no rain. It is going to be a little bit cooler tomorrow, Thursday, 26 degrees, so not quite as hot and sunny as we've seen in the first few days, but still pretty decent conditions, and thankfully the weather has turned on our side.
We're going to look at 2 matches here, and our first match is the match between Manuel Cerundolo up against Pedro Martinez. It's a Juan Manuel Cerundolo. It's the match between an Argentinian and a Spanish player. There is one previous meeting between the two of them. It's in qualification in 2020 here in Buenos Aires. Not really much relevance into that. But if you do like your head-to-heads, Martinez won it, 7-5-6 love. Martinez is being bet with Bet Rivers in the early flurries this morning. He's plus 145 now from an opening plus 155. Cerundolo, uneasy favourite at $2, spread 3.5, total here 21.5. And there's your usual market as well with Bet Rivers. And you can live stream these matches on the Bet Rivers app.
Yeah, I'm not surprised that Martinez is being bet a little bit. This looks short on Cerundolo. I said in my Instagram video that when I talked about the Buenos Aires outrights, that Cerundolo looked the best of the big prices at 50-1, and he got past Altmaier very easily in the first round, and he's got half a chance of going deep in this tournament. But this price, I don't get it really. I mean, yes, he should be favourite, but not these odds. He's only got a 46% win rate on the clay at main level against top 100 opponents. That's Cerundolo. If you do that simplistically, a 46% win rate is odds of plus 117. Here is minus $2. Are we saying that Martinez is a poor top 100 player? I wouldn't say that. He should be favourite, Cerundolo, on the clay stats of the last 12 months at main level. He certainly has been the better player in that snapshot of time on this surface at main level. Cerundolo, 56% win rate, service points won and return points won, total of 100. Martinez, just a 39% win rate and a total of 96. So if you're taking it just off that, then that's perhaps where the moneyline prices come from. But Martinez wasn't fit for a lot of last season, started getting injury problems around about the summer, around about the grass court swing last year. He started to get a lot of injury problems, wasn't really fit for the rest of the year. But he's got a decent record at this tournament, has Martinez. 56% win rate in Buenos Aires, service points won and return points won, total of 102, winning a very big 44% of return points, made the semi-finals here last year. Cerundolo, he's only played 4 matches, 2 wins, 2 losses, and his total is 99, which is, all right, but not as good as Martinez, you would argue. And Martinez he's actually won, if I can get the words out correctly, he's won 7 of his last 10 matches, Martinez, at main level on clay against left-handers. Cerundolo, obviously a lefty. He also won the only head-to-head, which was here, obviously in this tournament. It was a while ago, but it was very, very convincing. 115-85 in terms of service points won and return points won totals. Yes, it was a while ago, perhaps not that relevant, but Martinez will remember it, and so will Cerundolo. That's for sure. Martinez confident. He started the season pretty well. He won a challenger, albeit a fairly weak challenger on hard courts already this season. But with all that in mind, I just think Cerundolo is short here. There's a few ways you can attack this. The over 22.5 games is perhaps the preferable one for me. That's minus 102, I believe, at Bet Rivers. Or you can take a little bit of a chance on Martinez on the money line. I think that price, as you said, Nigel, I think that price might contract a little bit. Plus 145 at the minute. We'll take Martinez on the handicap. Plus 3.5, I think he is. If I can find the sheet.
Yeah, 3.5. Yeah,
yeah, plus 3.5. So
you're going to get with Martinez is definitely the way that the market is moving towards. I don't know whether the market has reached its peak, but certainly the betting public want to be with Martinez. And as you've seen for overnight yesterday, their market moves here in Buenos Aires are to be respected. And Martinez is definitely done a bit, and who has been a little bit of a market move. Just remember, February Fun Bet, a great offer. Lots and lots and lots and lots of you taking up this offer. So the more you can do, the great. Giving you something back. We want you to subscribe. We'll give you February Fun Bet. Tennis, soccer, basketball, whatever sport you're following right now, bet on it with February Fun Bet. Betting Weekly and Bet Rivers have teamed up to give you a $10 bonus bet at Bet Rivers when you enter the bonus code BW201. That code again is BW201. The offer expires on February the 15th, so you're running out of time. You must be 21, eligible players only. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. So remember that February Fun Bet. You might want it on Martinez, or you may even want it on our next match, which is a match involving Sebastian Baez, the informed Sebastian Baez, the Argentinian player from Buenos Aires, local guy in fantastic form. He's up against a 21-year-old from Peru called Ignacio Buse. Don't really know much about Buse, so I'm intrigued to hear what you have to say about this one, Sean, but I do know Sebastian Baez is in the form of his life. If we're looking at the odds here, no surprise to see Baez the favourite. Minus 345 is what you're going to get for him. Plus 225 for Buse. 4.5 is the spread, and total is 21.5. As per usual, loads of different markets. I think there'll be about 45 to 50 markets on the app when this match starts, and the order play is to be confirmed, but it'll be around the early hours of tomorrow morning. What have we got here?
I just wonder, if these Buenos Aires nerves will get to Baez again here. You know, as you said, he's been in brilliant form this season so far, and a lot of that is because he's overcome a knee problem that he's had for quite a while, actually. Really struggled last season fitness-wise. It was plaguing him, that knee. He's talked about it at length ahead of this tournament, said he couldn't move a lot of the days. Still playing, by the way. I mean, I'm not sure that really makes a great deal of sense. If you've got a bad knee problem, you can't really move, but yet you're playing every week. I'm not sure how that works, but either way, he's over that now. As you said, he's probably playing the best tennis of his career so far in 2026, but things are different here. You know, he's from Buenos Aires. His record at this tournament is not good. It's nowhere near as good as the rest of the Golden Swing. It suggests that he gets nervy playing here. I think he's talked about it in the past. It's kind of an obvious thing. It's happened to a lot of Argentinian players over the years coming here because it is their only tournament, really. They had Cordoba for a while, but that's gone now. This is the one they all want to win, and the nerves do affect the Argentinian players here sometimes. If you look at what he's done on the rest of the Golden Swing, he's won the title twice in Rio, won the title in Cordoba, won the title in Santiago. I think he made another final in Santiago as well. Fabulous record in those tournaments. Here, he's only ever made one quarter-final, Baez. I don't think it's a coincidence. I think it's all down to the stress of playing at home. He mentioned about, everyone coming up and trying to get his autograph and all the rest of it. I think he just puts a bit of pressure on himself, and it hasn't worked out for him so far. That's not to say it won't this year, but if you look at his record here, just a 50% win rate and a service points won and return points won total of 99. It's not what you would expect from Baez on clay in conditions that should be favourable for him. And Buse is a good young player. He broke through. A lot of people would have seen him. He broke through in Gstaad, I think it was, on the clay at altitude last year, made the semi-finals there as a qualifier. Showed some good ability there. And he showed some real battling qualities yesterday. There were a couple of real reversals last night for in-play bettors. Last night, Buse came back from a set and 5-1 down. Had to save a match point against Pissarro. Come back from the absolute brink to win. Barrios Vera was the other one who was playing Saboth Wild. Saboth Wild was a set and 5-2 or 5-3 and had a match point, didn't take it, and then he retired 3 games later. So there were some real turnarounds, in-play turnarounds last night in Buenos Aires. This was one of them, Buse. It was his first match of the season, so it's perhaps not surprising that he took a little time to get going. But his stats are promising, for what he's done at main level on clay so far. He's only played 7 main level clay matches, but he's got a 57% win rate and a service points won and return points won total of 99, which is the same total as Baez at this tournament. And he's won 5 of the last 7 matches that he's played on clay versus top 100 opponents. He's got a good forehand. He likes to attack. It might not be good enough for him to win the match against Baez, but I think this will be a tough match for Baez. I think it's one that Baez will not be taking lightly at all. Again, I'm probably going to go overs totals here. I think you've got to go over 22.5 games if you're betting in this one. It's plus money, that was when I looked before. If it still is, I'm not sure. It's over 21.5 on the graphic there, but over 22.5 is plus money, plus 110.
Yeah.
You could take either of those. I think it's a match that should be a decent test for Baez. Be interesting to see how he performs in his home tournament again.
Pressure on for Sebastian Baez up against a very young and talented player. They are the 4 matches that we have previewed. There will be more matches added to the Bet Rivers website and the app as the day progresses today, and there'll be the matches. It'll be the quarterfinals at Rotterdam, and Sean will give you a preview of those on our Instagram account either this evening or tonight before he heads off, if there's any bets he likes on there as well while he's in Rotterdam getting all the information courtside. Please hit the subscribe button. Enjoy the content as well. Follow us on our socials at Because We Win. And do remember that February fun bet. Tennis, soccer, basketball, whatever sport you're following right now, bet on it with February fun bet. Betting Weekly and Bet Rivers have teamed up to give you a $10 bonus bet at Bet Rivers when you enter the bonus code BW201. That code again is BW201. Offer expires on February the 15th. Must be 21. Eligible players only. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLERS. 1-800-GAMBLER. Remember, Betting Weekly live today, 11 o'clock. All the coverage of the Premier League with Steve and Lewis Jones. Also tomorrow, Steve will be joined by Lewis Jones as well. And in America, our show on the Betting Weekly Live PM version, the American version with Doug and Mike. The guys have been on absolute fire. I think they've hit 7 out of 8 daily doubles. Another daily double cashed in last night. That is essential viewing and that is at 9 a.m., 4 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure you watch that as well. So we've got all you covered here on the Betting Weekly Studios. And that's it from this week. Next week, we'll be back on Sunday previewing 3 tournaments in Doha, Rio, and Delroy Beach. So another busy week here on the Betting Weekly Studios and particularly on Game Bet Match. Sean, enjoy your day at the tennis. Hopefully back some winners. Just before you go, just give us a recap of the official plays.
It's just one official play today. It's a small interest in Nakashima. Half point on Nakashima at plus 160 to beat Taylor Fritz. That one is tonight, so get your bets on quickly on that one.
Yep, tonight I think it starts around about 8 p.m. Eastern time. Nakashima to beat Taylor Fritz. That's it for this week on Game Bet Match. Remember to follow us on socials again at Because We're in Instagram. Need you to subscribe there. Loads of stuff going on. Loads for exclusive for all our viewers and subscribers. Take care. See you all again on Sunday.